I've been calling this the Bat Bike build. It has always had balance issues. I made a gyroscope to help it balance, but the GSX 600 motor takes up a lot of room, so it has to go. On to the next chapter, the cyber bike. Brought this new battery here. Thank you Liam for making it. There's his phone number if you want one made. I'm in at work now making a battery box out of some 2mm aluminium plate. I'll weld it together with the AC TIG. Then we crimp some longer wires on. Okay, we're joining the jumper cables onto the battery. 2 cables into one. I think 300 cells, 72 volt or 76 volt, can't quite remember. And big BMS on this thing, 300 amp. So hopefully can power that motor okay. I tried to protect the battery with yoga mats as padding. Alright, let's see if this fits. Nope. I couldn't get this to fit in here with the foam, so I'm thinking just a good layer of tape on the bottom here, and then I'll put foam to protect the BMS, battery management system. There we go. She's going to be in there forever. Alright, just to prove to you guys.
Hello.
Here's Scott, my mate. He's actually 6'6". He fits in here.
It works.
But his legs are pretty crammed up. So even a big fella can fit in, but you have to be skinny to get in the entranceway, that's all.
Slipping sideways.
Yeah. Okay, so this is the motor I got. It's a QS138. This is what Electric & Co use, these same motors. So we're just hooking it up to the controller now. Massive controller on it. I got the biggest one. Huge heatsink on it. Batteries there. Scott's giving me a hand. So this is going to be the first test coming up. And we don't really know what we're doing. Okay, everything's wired up how we think it's supposed to go. Touch this on here, see what happens. Nothing. Nothing.
Wrong.
It's working. I wonder if it just beeps to let you know that it's on. It's full throttle, I think. Ah!
Alright.
Yes!
Relief, it works.
Oh. Okay, we've been messing around with this for ages, and what we've heard is the purple wire here was supposed to connect to the positive. So we've tried that, we had a multimeter over, and we just took a guess because the drawing said it's the orange wire. So depending on what your wiring loom you've got, because none of these plugs will line up with anything, we had to cut this plug off and we had to wire our own plug. They just give you a box of plugs, nothing's labeled. We got a bit of ching chong stuff going on here, but that's it. So that's how you do it. That's what I talk about, the most used tool in any metalwork shop, really. 125mm or 5-inch grinder. This is the best one I've ever used. It's a Makita one. I've had this thing for years. I work as a welder, and I've had one of these in my hand nearly every day for over 20 years. Just a few things I do to my one. I see a lot of people take the guard off them, but this is actually a real pain. It sprays in your face if you're on certain angles. What I usually do is just trim the guard back. I mean, health and safety people won't tell you to do that, but it's better than taking the guard off. It just fits your hand nice. You can use it with one hand. A switch like that's really good. Safety guys are into those paddles, so that if you let it go, it stops, but you're compromising your grip to hold one of those paddles. So I'd go for a side switch like that. In my opinion, way safer. It's going for about 5 years, and in that time I probably burnt through 2 or 3 grinders at work, even though this gets used a bit less on the weekends and after work. If you're into metalwork, get yourself a good grinder. It's like the best tool. I've done some tweaks to the steering, got that working better. I think what I need to do next is to pull out the GSX 600 motor. Engine's on its way out, what a mission. Dropping it out the bottom, and I'm just lifting the whole frame over it. Ugh, getting pretty heavy. And it's out. Yay. So this is my temporary setup for raising and lowering the front. Bang that wire on there, the switch lights up, and it works, but I want it to be faster. I wonder if I can just double the volts through here.
Panic.
For the longest time I didn't know why these stupid motorbike batteries have got this little nut in here that always falls out. I think it's so you can do this. You can shove any old wire in there and boom. You've got yourself a little clamp.
Are you sure that's how it works?
I don't know. That's what I'm doing now. Forever. No more battery crimps for me. Just wire straight in there.
What if it like is damaging the battery really
Nah, it'll be
bad?
alright. Don't worry about that. Oh, 24 volt, bro.
Is that a lot?
Yeah, we're doubling the volts that this motor's supposed to take.
Spaz.
Oh yeah, the light's working. Oh, the light's bright. This thing must have a voltage regulator in it somewhere. Yeah, alright, can't do that. Dumb. The other idea is put two motors on. Gonna put this electric throttle on, but the rage is setting in yet again. Look, they put one of these stupid little locator things. I don't know why road bikes seem to have those things.
It's 'cause
Dumb.
it just makes it harder to reuse.
Now I've got to grind that out.
Go,
Why? Who wants that thing in there? Is your wrist that strong that it's going to twist the clamp off?
Yeah, maybe someone does like a really buff guy riding motorbikes.
Yeah, and just like trying to go faster. Come on,
It's not going faster.
It's not getting faster because the whole thing's twisting. Gone. Sold.
Bye-bye, little safety feature.
That there will probably just mount to there. Big heat sink, and I'll feel it on my back if it's getting insanely hot. Dual feature, so I get burnt, sacrifice myself
For the
views. It says here, mate, this is the big pencil, bigger dreams. What we need is one pencil spacing for here.
One big pencil.
One big
You say
pencil.
one pencil, but people won't understand that this is a massive pencil.
I've got the throttle on the bars. These are the wires that come out of here. So I've got to link those up to the controller now. I've got some idea what some of these are now from watching a whole heap of videos. Got some of this wire here, all different colours. Hopefully it's thick enough to work. I ended up using some thicker wire because I was afraid this stuff was going to melt. Breaking out the old solder here, or if you're an American, the solder. I got these plates laser cut. I found this model on GrabCAD. Thanks Matteo Simbas, did an awesome job of modelling this. These motors mounting holes are kind of weird. It was great having this accurate model to draw my mounts. Let's see if they fit it. That model on GrabCAD is dead accurate. I have cut this sprocket off and now I have to weld the next one on. But I've got to get this pretty central, otherwise the whole thing will vibrate. I'll do my best just to set it up with the digital calipers. Motor is going in. Yay. I've welded in these engine mounts now with the TIG welder. At the very end I'm going to go around and fully weld everything out, but right now it's just a test to see if everything's going to work together. Alright, I'm about an hour into wiring and making sure everything's okay, and had to do a self-learn process, and look, she goes. Pretty fast, and I can hold this button, and now it's in reverse, so I can even back her up. Need to tidy some of this wiring up, and then what's next? Test ride? Gotta hook the chain up first and try that out. Chain's on, let's see what happens. The chain is scraping a lot here, and there's also something bent with the rear wheel. Reverse. Always impressed by how fast this thing works. Look at this thing, it's going totally spastic. Whole box is shaking. That only took about an hour and a half to print.
This was a cool battery box, but I ended up not using it.
This whole sprocket and wheel are a little bit out of round, so I'm going to see if I can stretch it into shape with a jack here. Except my jack is leaking. Oh, golly. Alright, from that very brief test ride, things I need definitely are brakes. I have brakes installed, but here's the caliper back here. I might just feed a rod through to the pedal in the front, which is pretty easy. The other thing is it just rattles like crazy because it drives on these tiny wheels when I'm down on the ground, which won't be that long, but if I'm taking off on the road it'll be extra loud, so I might put some bigger wheels on. Also, the raised lower control is too slow. I've just disconnected it for now. So I worked out I could just jam the leads of the battery into it and it's heaps faster because it's 18 volt instead of 12. I 3D printed this little generic battery holder that can clip on. Now I've got to make some terminals for it somehow. Oh yeah. That's way faster. So I fitted these wheels, bolted the axle through the body panels. Now I just need to 3D print some clamps that will sit on the end there. One's been made. Another thing I need to do is make a lid for this box somehow. So I'm just going to slice this panel leaning up on here because I'm pretty strapped for space. I really need a big shed sponsor.
I score the fold lines with the grinder to make it easier to fold.
Lid on. I need to get like a gland nut or something for here maybe. I know I keep going on about the 3D printer. You imagine trying to make something like this out of a piece of steel or aluminium. It'd take you absolutely ages. That's what I'm using to put these louvers in, and I'm going to continue them down. I'll do one more like that, and then the rest will be just stainless steel sheet metal welded to this part, because I don't think I'll need to be able to reach through to access anything there. Got myself a gland nut. Yay, that's a bit nicer. So I fed the two wires through that gland nut and just filled up the gaps with the silicone. Hopefully that's alright. I've got those louvers tacked in there. I've just started to make a front window out of perspex here. So I need to cut another one out for the other side with the grinder. Just tapping into the frame here to secure this front window. Got the tap on the end of the ratchet. I've got some Cybertruck sort of paint going on here. We get a bit of a grey stainless look. I've got the heater running in here to try the shed out because it's been raining for about 3 days, so that might look alright. So it managed to spin the tyre up on the wet concrete, but it's only on medium power mode. That's pretty cool. But I think this bearing slipped forward a little bit when I did it, so I just made a jacking bolt here that I can use to hold pressure. Close.
This was my first problem. The small wheels have to skid sideways to turn, which was way more of a problem now that they are way more grippy than the steel ones I had on there. Then something weird happened to the steering.
Cut think what went on is this arm slipped on here and the wheel totally cocked over.
Can you just hold that wheel straight, please?
If I just worn my helmet, I wouldn't have a headache right now. Always wear your helmet, kids.
Ow.
Not really.
Might have to just limp it back.
Okay, no real damage, a little bit of grass here and there. Didn't even scratch the paint off. Most of the damage was done to my head. Still got a bit of a headache. Next time I think I'll wear my helmet. I've got the battery on charge. It's got a little Bluetooth thing on the battery and you can go through all your stats here. We've got a fault alarm on a high temperature battery, looks like that one. I don't even know what to do about that. And I can also connect up to the far driver controller, and there's a whole bunch of options on here, whatever gear output you want. I'm not even sure what all this stuff means either. So there's a lot for me to learn about all of this stuff. I don't know what any of it does really. Battery's already charged up after about 5 minutes. Some of you guys are going to be like, why have you gone for an electric motor instead of the gas motor? Mostly it's space. There's so much room in here. I can fit a gyro or whatever to help it balance. The other reason is the noise. I mean, I like the sound of a gas engine, but if I want to ride it around my yard or something like that, practice, it's loud. The other thing is how easy this is to use. It's just a throttle, no gears, no clutch. So all I need to do is focus on driving rather than worrying about how the engine's going. Another reason is that engine is pretty old, the idling's rough, I spent way too much time working on it. So the electric motor, just goes. The other thing is reverse, save so much time with reverse. And weight, this thing is literally half the weight now. I can pick it up really easy, and if I do fall over, the engine doesn't flood. Been thinking about the gyro quite a bit, and I'm a little bit worried it's not going to work, just because as soon as I'm past like walking speed, it just drives like a normal motorbike, well, a weird motorbike. It's just that really slow turning around and maneuvering stuff that is the pain. The wheels that I've got set up here are way too close together. If you see, the bearings popped out of one of them when it fell over one of the times. Anyways, I want you guys' advice. How do I make this thing balance at low speed? Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.